Was a girl running in a group. She had a high-speed motor in a 40 Ford coupe. She had a racing cam and a Super George. Look at Buddy, hot rod and large. She's a hot rod. She's a hot rod.
U.S. prosecutors are, let's put it this way, with the advent of technology and high technology, self-driving and electrical engineering and just all the new technology, what comes with that? Of course, the stealing of it, the pilfering of it. Well, listen to this. U.S. prosecutors say that Anthony Lewandowski should spend 27 months in prison. The autonomous driving engineer argues that at the height of the coronavirus, that could be a death sentence, and he could be right because prisons have a lot of coronavirus. Ahead of Lewandowski's sentencing, it's going to be next week now, government lawyers told a judge that his punishment for stealing trade secrets from Google as he defected for Uber Technologies, Inc., is an important lesson to deter brazen and shocking conduct in Silicon Valley. Well, guess what? This is going to happen. Lewandowski, who agreed to plead guilty, countered that 12 months of home confinement and community service is enough. Well, home confinement means he'd have a computer in front of him, so give me a break. Lewandowski raided Google's repositories and stole proprietary information that would have undoubtedly been useful to him, prosecutors said in the filing. Had he not been caught, the stolen files might have made the engineer the savior of Uber's self-driving program. In other words, he was their bigwig at Google, and he decided Uber recruited him, gave him a lot more money, and he brought all his trade secrets with him. What's to say that's wrong? I mean, if he devised something, if he invented it, or if he came up with it, why can't he take it with him? Why does your employer have that right over you? That's your self-expression. That's your stuff that you designed. You should be able to take that to whoever. You know, if you guys really wanted to keep everything secret, you should have gave him more money, and he wouldn't have gone to Uber. I don't think. I don't think he would. Well, it is what it is. The average car on American roads today is a lot older. I'm telling you, think about this. The average car on the road in the U.S. is nearly 12 years old. 12 years almost. Roughly 1 month older than the national average last year, and the oldest in the history of the study by IHS Markit, which is Information Handling Service Market. The study, which was released Tuesday, showed the car owners were holding on to their cars for 11.9 years and keeping them on the road for more years even before the slowdown caused by coronavirus. Longer vehicle loans, more reliable cars, and fewer new cars sold in 2019 and 2020 should give the average age higher and make it go up. That's according to researchers. It's going to go up. 11.9 years. You remember, I'm going to tell you, I don't go back. I don't do this reminiscing thing. I don't think it's right, even though I'm old and I like to reminisce. But when I was younger, 100,000 miles was the magic number. You got rid of that car. It was going to fall apart on you. And of course, by then it was all rusting out anyway. You at least had surface rust. Some cars you had bad rust, whole gaping holes in the quarter panels and stuff. 100,000 miles was junkyard material. And the auto recyclers just love you. Well, now they're not getting that car until it's got 250,000 miles on it and it's 15 or 18 years old. I work on cars every day that have 200,000 miles on them, and they're 20 years old, and they look good and they run good. They've been taken care of. They last. That's just how it works.
Yeah, my dad's Tahoe. He has, I think the year is a 2002 Chevy Tahoe.
Okay, makes it 18 years old.
Yeah, that truck has 225,000.
And he still rocks it every day.
And he still drives it every day
there
like
you
it's
go.
Brand new.
The times have changed. Trust me. They really have. This news out of Detroit is kind of neat. While Tesla helped popularize the notion that electric vehicles can be fun to drive, Ford Motor Company is taking that a step further. Oh, baby. The automaker unwrapped a one off-racing prototype called the Mustang Mach-E 1400. Now, this is that new Mach-E electric car, but this is called the 1400. And you have an option of 7 motors and a 1400 peak horsepower. 1400. That's 1,400, boys and girls. Your average car on the road right now is about 285 horsepower. The hot rod's 600 or 700 horsepower. This is 1,400 horsepower, electric horsepower. The vehicle, not intended for production, of course, right now, comes on the heels of the Cobra Jet 1400 electric prototype that Ford released earlier this year. The prototype comes with 3 motors attached to the front differential and 4 attached to the rear. Ford says the design lends itself to drifting or high-speed racing. Yeah, it should. The vehicle is powered by a 56.8 watt battery made of nickel, manganese, cobalt pouch cells. Nickel manganese. I like that word manganese, Eric. I'm going to use that. I'm going to maybe put that into a bit. Manganese. I'm going to use it. Yeah, I know. It's a cool word. I get a kick out of some words, and that's one of them. This last week, your car guy was online with a bunch of people at a conference. I guess it was a nice experience for me. I'm learning what the kids are going through now with the e-learning at home on conferences with people talking to you and talking to each other and doing stuff. And it's kind of neat. And I was fortunate enough recently to listen in and weigh in on an online conference by some dealers regarding digital retailing of vehicles. And I came away with some quite predictable findings, actually. They all agreed, as I do, or as do I, that digital sales of automobiles and trucks is certainly the future of the business. It is. It definitely is where we're going, boys and girls. Tell me like it is. And not participating will, of course, cost a loss of customers and many potential sales. And that's just reason. That's predictable. If you don't step up and go with the flow, you're going to be falling by the wayside. You're going to be done. In a quick poll of 1,200 customers, 2/3 wanted to shop and deal online, including 25% of all the buyers under 35 years old. These kids want to buy it from their phone like they order a pizza. Well, that's what it's going to be. Further, your website for sales must be complete. Okay, when you go into this, you got to have this all done. To not go into it would be death to the business. Now, you say you're going to go into it. Your website for sales must be complete, including financing, credit checks, monthly note calculations, as well as offers for trade-ins and insurance quotes. It's all got to be there. It's just like going to the dealer where you go to the F&I guy and he tells you how much financing and insurance should be and blah, blah, blah. Also, most consumers polled wanted to be emailed any alerts about any buying events or sales on a regular basis. In other words, if you're having a special, a 0 interest or whatever, we want to know about it. Let's face it, guys, the times they are a-changing. Seems the old test drive is going the way of the Model T, as more dealers are trying to make more money with less people in less time. Well, they are. And you know what? Right now, the customers are loving the time saving too. And it's actually a savings on a lot of things. There are going to be a lot of middlemen cut out. It's going to be different. Was this change caused by the pandemic, or was it going this way anyhow? I think it's going this way anyway. Who can say? But the time is upon us for a bold new car world, a car world that would make Henry Ford's head spin and probably make him smile too, because he'd be selling some cars. Dealerships already don't hire mechanics anymore. They recruit technicians, people that are not only can do the nuts and bolts repair, but are computer savvy and can research and collect the data necessary to repair today's high-tech systems. I mean, just the safety devices on board will give you a migraine when they fail, and they will. To say nothing of the infotainment equipment. Yeah, boy, that's a pain, let me just tell you. Now the car salesmen and women will be giving up the slick dressing and glib spiels for a computer presentation that will wow the prospective buyers. And a well-designed website that can take the sale from start to finish. That website's got to go from start to finish. You got to do it all. Trust me, cars will be delivered in some strange places as opposed to the dealer lot. Your new vehicle will likely come to you instead of you to it. Like I said, The times they are a-changing, guys, and yes, they are. And here's the deal. If you're going to buy a car, you can still go to the dealer. Right now, I don't think you can get in most of them because they're all under quarantine. Some of them you can if you're the only person. And the technicians are in the back, and they're doing the nuts and bolts, like I said, but they're all on computers. Everything is on a trend. First thing my guys do when I hand them a job ticket is go to the computer and look up for any bulletins on this car, anything that will help them decide what exactly is happening with the customer complaint. It's all done online. The sales are going to be online, and it's going to be really different. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be easy. It's going to be less time consuming. Anybody that's ever sat through a closing on a car sale at the dealer knows there's not enough coffee in the world to get through one of those. It takes forever. So this could be a trend. We'll see. The world of the robots and the computers is upon us. They have a thing, car news, automotive news had a thing. They were telling people if you're looking for a car for the kid under $20,000, and it's a used vehicle, something for your kid's first car, blah blah blah. You want to get them in a nice, safe car. They had a bunch of them the best of the best. Well, I didn't agree with most of them. I can tell you right now. Okay, like this is small crossover SUV. And by the way, before we get going on this, I'm going to tell you that all these opinions spoken here are the opinions of your car guy. Your car guy alone. It has nothing to do with Gerard Media or any of the 5 radio stations. This is your car guy and his opinion only. And yeah, it's kind of fun. It's a good opinion. Trust me, I've been at it for long enough. I should know. If I don't know by now, I'm never going to know. They got some used cars on here. Here's a 2016 Buick Encore. Absolutely not. I wouldn't buy that for anybody. They leak antifreeze like a sieve. 2016 Chevy Equinox. If it's got a V6 in it, it's got oil problems, it's going to be a problem. You don't want that. But now on the list is a 2015 to 2016 Honda CR-V, $12,200. Or you can get 2019 Honda CR-V. $12,200 for a nice used car, and that is a good car, and they have a good motor in them. Here's another one, a 2018 Hyundai Kona, $14,500. Good car. That was in the column of the what kind of crossover, or small crossover SUV. The mid-size crossover SUVs, the first thing on the list is a 2016 Terrain. There's another one that throws oil around. You don't want that. No. The 2019 Kia Forte, $14,600. Toyota Corolla hatchback, $15,800. 2019. That's a good price. 2019 Honda Insight, $17,900. Those are good cars. Those are good cars. They're nice and they're good to have. If you're going to buy a mid or large car, mid-size or large, they got a list here. It's probably 20 cars on here. I don't agree with about 3 or 4 of them. The first one on the list is a 2018 Volvo S60. That's the one that's devised in China. I'm going to tell you something. You buy a Volvo, you're on your own. I don't know any service centers that will volunteer to work on it. You have to go to Volvo or find a guy that specializes in European cars only. And when you do, get your wallet out because it's going to be expensive. My shop, we don't touch European cars. They're a whole new ballgame. They're a whole different information system, and they're a different design. To a guy that works on mostly American and Japanese or Asian imports, they don't make sense. They make no common sense. The Asian imports make perfect common sense. The American cars, of course, make perfect common sense. The European cars, it's a different ballgame. And we won't service them, and I don't know anybody that will. I'm telling you right now. Same way they got a Subaru Outback on here that's only $8,500. It's in 2013. Here's the deal. Subaru, find somebody to work on that. We work on them, but let me try and get parts for you. And whatever the part costs, that's what it costs. There's no dealing here. There's no helping you. Here's a 20. Now this I agree with on the big midsize and large cars. The Honda Accord, 2013 Honda Accord. They're about $9,000. Great car. If it's fairly good mileage, even if it's not, it's been taken care of. You'll get 300,000 miles out of that car. You will. Lincoln MKZ, 2016, about $13,000. That's a 4-year-old car, but That's another one that has a good motor in it. If you keep the oil changed on it, you'll be just fine. 2019 Nissan Altima, about $17,000, and I'm going to tell you what, we don't service any of those because they don't break. The Nissans are in pretty good shape. Here's a Honda Santa Fe Sport, 2017. Good car. Not a problem. About $16,000. Minivans. They've got 3 minivans listed here, and I agree with one. They don't offer any. They do not say that there's any good choices for minivans or best choices. These are best choices. They have 3 of them: a 2015 Toyota Sienna, a 2016 or 17 Kia Sedona. No way. The 2015 to 2016 Honda Odyssey for about $12,500. Goodbye. It's a good buy. You can't go wrong with that. You really and truly can't. It's sad. Those are supposed to be their best choices. They got some choices on there that apparently somebody advertises with them, and they're glad to take their money because they're endorsing some cars that they have to know are problem cars. Some of those V6s and stuff out there are bad news. My guys are fixing them all day long. We went through this 6 months ago, you and I. We sat and talked about the little tiny oil passages for the variable cam timing and the solenoids and the reactors. It's very, very small oil passages, and that little bit of dirt, you got an oiling problem. Now you got a sensor problem. Now you got a solenoid problem, and it's real easy to do. And they actually, and this is the truth, GM at one time had 7,500 miles for intervals of synthetic oil changes on their 6-cylinder, their V6. They had a recall on some certain cars and brought them in and reprogrammed them to make the computer say 5,000 miles time to change oil instead of 7,500 because those cars were failing while the cars were still under warranty. Yeah. So there. And that, again, my opinion, nothing to do with Gerard Media or WIMS, WHFB or 106.7 or even Facebook. This is your car guy talking, and I'm telling you the facts. I'm telling you the truth. These are things that I see every day, and my shop is the busiest around, and right now I can tell you a lot of things that will curl your hair. You got to stop in and see me. You stop in and see me, I can give you the real truth. It's not on the air. I wouldn't do that. I'm not a backstabber. I'm just telling you what I see every day.